I tell you, getting a condo ready to sell or a house or anything else, it's not one thing, it's something else. It just goes on and on and on. I'm still cleaning off these marks, and I'm going to show you this right now. But remember that one that was on the wall right there? And here's another tip. It's so small. It's so small. There it is right there. You see that? Look at that. Can you see that? Can you see that on the wall? If I told you on this wall somewhere there was a pin prick with a little bit of white in it, could you find it? So there's the other tip. If you can get it that good, maybe you don't need any touch-up paint at all. Do you see what I mean? I'm going to do these two above the bed. Let's just see what happens here, shall we? I got some clean water. That's the other thing. I got some clean water now in my bucket, because the last thing you want is to have residue all the way around your patch to where you're so proud of cleaning it off, and then you see these smudge marks all over. You know? And I see where they have some black marks here from whatever was hanging on the wall right here. You know, from it dragging, sliding back and forth, or just because they weren't careful when they put it up. I mean, could you get by without even doing any paint touch-up? Yeah, if you really wanted. Doesn't that look 100% better? And you can do that with an eggshell finish or the satin finish. And like I say, whenever I paint walls, now I don't care if it's in a house, an apartment, a condo, a $1 million house, whatever. Eggshell finish on the walls, okay? And then in the bathrooms I go semi-gloss. In the closets, sometimes I'll do semi-gloss on the walls and semi-gloss on the ceiling, so that your light reflects down here, you get it brighter, it's easier to clean, and all that, okay? Okay, like I said, if it's not one thing, it's something else. When you're cleaning, I saw this, there was a couple cobwebs on here, and now I can see wherever I've done this, it's dirty. So I'm gonna have to get up there and wash this entire wall. It's kind of at an angle. Do you see how it goes up at an angle? And I'll do that. I'll do that with my little sponge and my clean water. I'll rinse that out and do my simple green. And yes, if you were with me, you wanted me to do this wall here. Okay? Doesn't that look awful? Let's just fix that now, shall we? That's spackle. Now mind you, that spackle's only been up for I don't know, 3 weeks. 3 weeks maybe. Would it come out this easy if that spackle was on there for a month? Probably. Because spackle is dried up sheetrock mud, so to speak. I mean, I see one little pinprick. That was it. My word. Almost get by with doing nothing right there. And when I get all done, then before I start doing my paint touch-up, I'll walk the rooms. I'll walk the rooms, look and see what I need to do. Now see right there, I can't even tell where those pinpricks are. A couple little nail holes, that's it. And if I did decide to do some paint touch-up right there, I'm just going to take my paintbrush and just dab just the point of it on the edge, at a 45-degree angle, you know, And you don't have to brush it. That's the other thing. You get it like this. Don't take a little throwaway brush, an inch brush, your cut-in brush, and just say, oh yeah, Joe, he doesn't know what he's talking about. I'll just paint it. And then you take a paintbrush and go, and when it dries, trust me, you will see it. I don't care who you are, what kind of painter you think you are. Professional painters can't even do it. We had a house painted before we moved in. Professional painters. I went around and I told them there were nail holes, you know, screws, little picture frame nails. I was going to pull the picture frame nails out, but then I thought, well, then maybe they'll have a hard time finding the little hole. So I left them on this one wall in the bathroom. And of course, some guy went around and he pulled the nails. Well, he wasn't the same guy. Let's get a little light off of here. He wasn't the same guy who painted or who came back and did any of the caulking or spackling, whatever they did. So they missed this wall. Okay, so I had it on the punch list, and I told them how I would do it. Take a little tiny bit of caulking, just the little hole, you know. And nope, of course he didn't do that. He did it his way, and then he put paint on there, two little coats of paint, and same paint that they had just painted the walls with. And obviously you couldn't see it flash until paint dried. Painters wanted to hurry up and get out of there. They had a punch list a mile long that I gave them. And the boss man got so tired of it, he told me to stay there and watch his guys and tell his guys what to do. And they still missed all kinds of stuff. It's like, tell them, cut in at the ceiling line. Make sure your lines are all straight. Do I have to point out every single line that's not straight? Or could he not just go around and do it? Well, there's still all kinds of places. But anyways, in this one bathroom wall, right now, kid you not, when I look at the wall sideways with light on the wall, I know exactly where his marks are. And the only way to fix it now would be to take the towel bar down. This wall is only about 3 feet wide. Okay, right by the shower or the bathtub and stuff. I could take it and remove the towel bar and then paint the entire wall, 3-foot wall wide from floor to ceiling. That's the only way. That's the only way you're going to get rid of it. And this was professional painters, mind you. So I'll get those other ones. I got to get a ladder. I can't reach them. But doesn't that look 100% better? Good grief! I'm still gonna do little paint, just dabbing. You know, I can see where they're at. But when I just do a little bit, even if I have to do it 2 times, and just like that, that's going to be way better than a brush stroke where you're going to look at it off to the side and see exactly where the brush stroke is, per se. Do you see what I mean? And that's going to dry, and I'm looking at it, and I'm hoping that when it all dries, you're not going to see the stuff that I took off around that hole. But good grief, you see what I mean? The aftermath of his spackle. And once I dab it and let it dry, if I stand back and see it, well, guess what? Then I will have to paint this and hope that it blends in better than it does now. Okay. Another reason just to put a little caulking. That's what I usually do, just put it right in there, and then I take off the excess with a putty knife, boom, 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 and then I wipe around there with a wet finger and try to get the excess off of those little nodules of the spray texture. And then I would only have to touch up just that one little spot. You see? All right, I hope I shared enough for you for this time. Gotta go. I just thought of one more thing. Because these areas here might show up, okay? They might show up around there. And because the light is coming in this room, you can always see over there. But those marks, you're never going to see the mark over there that I cleaned off. You're never going to see those two that I cleaned off, because you're not going to get the sun, depending on how your room is, you're never going to get the sun hitting this wall here. So you could look off it to the left, like that, to the right, down on the bed. Maybe you'll never see those. Maybe you'll never see this one. These, I'm sure I'm going to have to paint around those little scuff marks, okay? But the areas that I did downstairs, and you just have to pinpoint. See in here? No sunlight is ever going to get in this room. This is as much light as you're going to get in this room. So you're going to have to make the determination on your own. No more sunlight in this room, okay? There's hardly any sun that's going to come through these windows, all right? So if there's a mark like that, like from that other room over here, you're never going to see it. Do you see what I mean? So you gotta pick and choose which areas you've got to paint all the way, which areas you can leave alone, you know, for this particular instance. Okay, that's it. I'm wrong. There's one more last thing I wanted to say. Okay, these areas here, I'm still glad I wiped off all the excess of the spackle, okay? Because when I touch this up, hear me out here. When I touch this up, even with broad brush strokes of this entire area, I'm hoping it's not going to flash, because it's just going on top from paint to paint, not over spackle. If it goes over spackle and you do it once, you're going to see it, because the spackle's going to soak up the paint, and the surrounding area is not going to soak up as much. And the patch where the spackle is going to look, it's still going to look like this after you get done with your paint. If you look straight on at it, you're not going to see it. But when you look sideways on it, you're going to see it all day long. See that one there? Let's look at it straight on. See how it goes away straight on? You could have the exact same paint over spackle, and straight on, you're not going to see it. But when you come over here and look at it here on the light, boom, 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 boom. Oh yeah, didn't VideoJoe do a good job? Oh yeah, he did a really good job. That looks like crap. I'm never going to have him do any work for me. But here's the thing. Since I wiped off all the spackle, I'm hoping it's not going to flash like that after I put one coat of paint on these particular ones. Do you see what I mean? Okay, I hope you just learned something. All right, I think I'm ready for my next video. Now here's one more thing I want to point out. I haven't done anything with these yet. I have not cleaned, or I've cleaned those. I have not done the paint touch-up yet. Okay, took all the spackle off, and I'm gonna repaint this whole thing instead of here, because this is in the sunlight. There's always going to be sun coming through here in the mornings, okay? I'm always going to see those marks, okay? But there were some other marks with some spackle up here where it's darker. Do you see? It's shady up there. They probably have marks like this around them, okay? But are you ever going to see them? I'm never going to see them, because the light is never going to be up any higher up there. It's only going to be down in here. So when I get ready to paint this, I'm just going to be painting these areas here. I'm not going to worry about that up there. In fact, you can't even see that there's 2 pin pricks there after I got rid of the spackle around it, okay? Pick and choose which ones you can leave alone and which ones you need to repaint.